too much exercise is not healthy.
So one thing, when you said you did intensity, and I think the benefit of that is it's exercising the heart better.
But you could also fucking freeze to death, couldn't you? Right? So there's the extreme, right? We can go in the sauna, and from the stress of the heat, and you produce heat shock proteins and so on, you get a benefit. What do we need to do? What's the minimum amount of dose? Let's say it's a medicine. What's the effective dose before we're getting all these side effects that we don't want? If we look at exercise as a medicine. I enjoy going and doing my stuff. I don't eat till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I have a period of time where I'm not eating, and usually I'm doing some kind of exercise.
Yeah, the other day I think you started with cardio. You did when we met you.
Cardio, but sprints cardio. Yeah, I don't do 45 minutes cardio, and that's one of the things we were talking about, getting the benefits of cardiovascular fitness in a short period of time, which is what I did with bodybuilding. I think it applies to cardio as well. Unless you're in some kind of specialist sport, like marathon running or something, you know. But I'm talking about health here. And too much exercise is not healthy because it has a negative. You're looking for the benefit. So my question is, how can we get the benefit with minimizing the negative? And what's the negative? Well, it's kind of like free radical production by the use of oxygen. And you're doing all this endurance training, which you're doing it to be fitter, have a better quality of life, maybe live longer. But on the other side, you're aging your cells with all this excessive amount of exercise. So my question is, what do we need to do? What's the minimum amount of dose? Let's say it's a medicine. What's the effective dose before we're getting all these side effects that we don't want? If we look at exercise as a medicine, which you could do, how do we get most of the benefits without the negatives? And the cardio that I do is interval sprints. I talked about it on Joe Rogan in 2017. Not that I'm the first guy to come up with it, but I understood that you could get the benefit from that, from short sprints. Same benefit as doing an hour or 45 minutes cardio, and you could achieve this in 5 minutes, which sounds crazy. 1 minute of cardio, i.e. 3 20-minute all-out sprints. I use an air bike, a cell bike, because it engages all the muscles. So really, you could use a rowing machine or a cross trainer, not quite as good. Or you could run up hills, same kind of thing. All-out sprints with some little downtime between. So like a minute's warm-up, a 20-second sprint, a minute down, 20 seconds. Do 3 or 4 20-second sprints. And in that 6 minutes or so that it takes, you can achieve the same as you get from doing 45 minutes, an hour of, long, boring, tedious, 2 sessions a week. But I suppose you could say it's like low-level cardio because I walk quite a bit. I go hiking, I take my dog for a walk, yeah. So, and I'll probably go 1 long bike ride a week where it's an hour or 2 just out on my bike. So I'm not really thinking this is like a super workout or anything, but I'm guessing it's a bit of long cardio.
So one thing, when you said you did intensity, and I think the benefit of that is it's exercising the heart better than just a slow. I think I feel better when I do intense cardio, get the heart rate up.
So it's like a shock again. It's the human body, the organism, it functions best when it's under stress, but a controlled amount of stress, right? So you can get benefits by being in the cold, right? In a cold water or a cold shower, you can get benefits because it's stressful for the body, which kicks off some mechanism which is beneficial for you. But you could also fucking freeze to death, couldn't you? Right? So there's the extreme, right? We can go in the sauna, and from the stress of the heat, and you produce heat shock proteins and so on, you get a benefit. Well, if I left you in there all day, you could also die, yeah? So exercise is a stress as well, which you get a beneficial reaction from. But what's the right amount before we get in, what happened to the first guy that ran from the Battle of Marathon, that, the first 26 miler, he fucking dropped dead when he got there, yeah? So there's a message there somewhere. Too much exercise can also potentially kill you or have a negative effect.
And back then they didn't have the environmental toxins and any other.
I'm putting out this information, and some people, they get it, but they're still, yeah, I get it, but hey, I like going to the gym. I want to be in there 2 or 3 hours. Like, okay, if you want it, but then you go there for like to get the benefit you're looking for, not to just socialize or whatever else it is you're doing for 2 or 3 hours, because you're certainly not really training hard for, you know, you might do a set and rest for 10 minutes. I don't know what you're doing there for 2 or 3 hours, but like, get a life, man.
What is your rest period between sets? Are you
I don't ever go by the clock, and this is how I coach people when I'm coaching, is to explain that when the muscle contracts, you use oxygen. So you're going to push the muscle to failure. There's going to be an oxygen debt to pay, right? But let's imagine we do curls to failure with a bicep. It's not a big muscle. It's not going to use that much oxygen, right? So the question is, when can you go to the next set and be assured that you're going to do it with muscular failure? I don't know. After a bicep curl, you've arguably 45 seconds a minute, you could probably go again and you wouldn't be in oxygen debt. But if you did a 20 reps to failure leg press, deadlift, or squat, you're probably looking at 3, 4, maybe more minutes before you're breathing somewhat normal and you got your faculties back and you're able to go hit another set and hit that muscular failure before you're doing cardio failure. You know, if we're 3 together and I said, come on, we're going to do a set of 20 reps squat, absolute failure, and you're nearly falling out with the bar, and we rack it back up, and you're on the floor, and I'm telling you a minute later, let's go again, you're not going to be able to perform because you're going to run out of air, oxygen, right? So the answer is it depends on the size of the muscles involved, the muscle groups involved. Something you can't put an exact time on, and different people have. So I just look at people. Generally, if they're able to like start talking to me fairly well, then I'm feeling they're pretty much ready to go again. But if they're still breathing heavy, there's no point putting another set because they won't reach muscular failure. They'll reach cardio failure. So somewhere between 1 and 4 minutes is a big variance depending on what you're doing. Yeah.
do you do press ups as a warm up or?
I don't. I mean, I could barely do 3 or 4 push-ups before because of my rotator cuff. I've done a lot of work on my shoulders now. I probably do, if I did 15 press-ups, it'd probably be to failure now because the weakness through the rotator cuff and the tricep and everything. But yeah, why not? If you're doing shoulders or triceps, not a bad exercise.
That's part of my warm up, and I still do 100 standing squats on my own.
Just getting the heart rate up. And one thing that I'm telling all my guys is very, very simple, but very effective. It's just dead hanging. Just dead hanging from the chin and bar. Yeah. This is going to stretch the tendons and ligaments in your shoulders and kind of help to get them back in the right place. Because as you get bigger and stronger on the pecs and the lats, it rotates around. And there's not much room at the front there. You got the bicep tendon going through there, the supraspinatus, and it kind of gets pinched in there and it gets inflamed. And we all had it. I had it, but I didn't have a fucking clue what it was. Like, nobody explained to me, and like there was no internet to go look. I had anatomy books and everything, but it's not quite the same. So just to get the shoulders sitting back in a more correct place, just dead hang, and it's good for your grip as well. It's good for everything.
Speaking of grip, so we were talking about Peter Attia earlier, and you said you're on his.
All these parameters of what benefit.
So grip strength is one of them.
Well, grip strength, yeah, and leg strength and hanging from the chin and ball, all those things. I mean, grip strength makes sense because grip strength is probably reflective of your general strength. I don't think it just, the fact that you get to got a good grip and your legs don't fucking work, it wouldn't be too good, but it's probably a good measurement of your overall.
Have you tried, we've probably done before, you grab 2 weights on either side, each half of what your body weight is, and then you walk around, I think it's for a minute.
Yeah, farmer's walk.
Your farmer's walk, yeah. Yeah, I tried it the other day, but it's hard because if you have to look at your watch, if I can see a clock, then you can like hold out and,
Well, you're walking or you're standing still.
I was walking up and down to the gym, and so I did about 15 minutes. I did, about 50 kilos, 59 kilos each side. I was like,
it's a good exercise, farmer's walk, especially like when you're like careful with your pace and you feel everything going up the chain and you put your shoulders back and, concentrate on doing it with really good posture. Yeah. I've been doing it as part of my recovery from the hip surgery and everything. I didn't get quite up to those weights because I want to do it a bit longer, like 2 minutes walking up and down, but I use the kettlebells. It's quite, I find it a bit more comfortable to hold and walk with those, but really concentrate on the posture on my walking and everything because of the recovery. So yeah, it's a good exercise. But some of these, these things, these numbers that you hear, muscle mass is 400% protective, and I don't know that some of those things work out. I'm sure it's very beneficial for your health.
We're talking about the VO2 max, and I know, like, when Peter Attia says that, he says it so matter of fact, like, if you don't have a great VO2 max, you're going to die, and that kind of upsets me a little bit, as they were anyone else. But he's just so matter of fact. This is it.
Probably don't. I don't think they necessarily outlive people that are just generally healthy, because how they achieve such an extraordinary VO2 max is excessive amounts of exercise, which brings its own negatives.
Or something genetic, and then the thought is, if you don't have that genetic gift, then you have to bring it with.
Yeah, there's only so much you can improve it. Just like strength, some people are going to have double the strength for somebody else just genetically. So I think it's difficult to put percentages on the benefits of different types of exercise. I think
It's been an honor to have Dorian Yates on our program today and delve into the extraordinary story and invaluable insights. To our viewers, take these lessons to heart, and remember to subscribe, like, and comment on your favorite takeaways. And stay strong, stay balanced. We'll catch you next time on Balance My Hormones.